What's your project you're working on? It's big.
No, it's going to be our project. You.
Don't you understand? I'm trying to hide in the shop. It's hot, and I've been trying to get tires on a Bronco for 3 weeks.
Yep, that can go on.
This is where my dad's overruling me. I want to get the tires on this loader too. We got 2 of the tires off. Overall, how do you think it's going?
Averagely slow.
Well, it's a smart ass comment. I was the one laying in the dirt. Are you gonna admit you didn't tell me you bought those tires?
Sometimes we're better off to surprise people with things.
Fair point, fair point. My dad went on vacation with my mom just over the weekend. They went and rode side by side, just on some trails and some gravel roads. And then, how did you put the tires? Did you go back for the tires? Or how did you do the tires in the side by side on the trailer?
We did a deal with the guy that we'd pick them up on the way back home. We went and bought them, and then on the way home, we just put the side by side way to the front of the trailer. And,
Oh, really? That's how you did it?
yeah, and then the 4 back or tires on the back.
All right, so here's what we got going on. We have this loader behind us, 938. It's been a great loader. It actually is the loader that we use a lot for around the yard. It's kind of more of the runner loader. The best way to explain it, this is the loader that spent the least amount of time on the lowboy, right?
Yep.
And we have
It
one.
gets rode from field to field.
Yeah, a lot more. And then it never fails. When people call us looking for a loader, they don't realize how big a 950 is, and actually they're gigantic. And so this is the loader that gets rented out, borrowed out, friend to friend out more than any of the other ones. This last spring, some cords started popping up on one of the tires, and so we knew we had to do something. He had this ad, and I think originally what they wanted like 38, 39, something like that for. And
Yeah.
we talked about putting 4 brand new Michelins. And so we talked about doing that, but we just knew that was going to be about 10 grand. And so we were just weighing all the options. On the far end of the scale, we had 10, 12 grand. On the other side of the scale is like, hey, do we just put 1 tire on for right now and then like a year look at doing the newer tires? This deal actually worked out good. You got all 4. They were used. But you got all 4. I think Mom told me $2,400.
Yeah.
But Adam's firing up the side dress. So we're going to fight tires, get these off. Adam right there with 4320, and he's gonna go side dress. Busy Saturday morning, ain't it? The whole machine's leaning about 3 inches. All right, on plan B here, and it's not going bad. We just started sinking the jack into Eternity. We got it right in front of we got the loader in front of the chop, and this is usually pretty solid dirt around here. But we just got to fill in where we push the jack in. Got to kind of fill that hole in, and then we're gonna put a steel plate down, and then we're gonna lift it. We just got to go up about another inch. But yeah, so maybe it's this plan A still, but like 2.0. We'll go with that. Okay.
Good.
Yep. like so many of our projects. Hot, sweaty. But Ben's loosening up the bolts right now. We got 2 of the tires off. Overall, how do you think it's going?
Averagely slow.
Well,
It's going good.
man, let the anger out.
Yeah, somebody's got to be a realist.
Wow.
But no, it's actually going quite well. You know,
It's a smart ass comment. I was the one laying in the dirt trying to figure out why the loader would lift this corner and the other corner would lift up on me. It's kind of cool. You can see in some of the footage. It's like doing the opposite of what we thought it was gonna do.
well, we've got it,
I think it's going good. I mean, if anything,
no,
to
it's
me,
going
there's
good.
whenever we get in these projects, there's always these unforeseen things, and like why we're lifting here and this corner is lifting up, you know, makes no sense, but it was.
well, and we've never had these wheels off. We didn't know if that this gun would even take them.
Yep.
So it actually it is going well.
Yeah. No, I'm happy. All right, one more tire. Yeah, now you're happy. All right.
Happy enough.
I mean, it went pretty good. The only thing that was just bizarre is, and I know what a lot of it is, I know that there's no suspension in a loader. There's no springs, there's no airbags, and it's extremely rigid. But yeah, lifting this corner here was lifting the rear corner behind me. I mean, it just was kind of weird. But nice feeling seeing it there airborne. A little weird seeing it with no, I mean, just nothing but air underneath
First
it.
time we pulled a tire off of it. So
Yeah, off this
we
loader.
did, yeah, because it had been a machine that had probably seen salt and sand before. We were a little worried about whether they would, you know, come off nicely, which they did. So
Yeah. This loader actually came from Packerland. You remember that? Chippewa Falls.
you know,
Yeah. So we bought the loader. It's kind of crazy because we bought the loader and we just needed a loader. We were going into fall. We had a project lined up in Iowa and we literally shipped it from Iowa, Chippewa Falls, Iowa down to
Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
I'm sorry, Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. We shipped it from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin down to Clinton, Iowa to do this project. And I loaded the farmer, before we started the spreading project we had going on, the farmer just asked me if I could load like 5-6 trucks because he just wanted to fill in some like ruts in the field. Well, I loaded like truck number 3 and then we blew an oil line underneath the front of the loader. And what we didn't realize is this machine actually was an old county machine and it probably sat next to a salt pile. Well, there's a valve up front with 4 steel lines and all those lines were junk. They were just rotted out. So before we could even start that project, we had to pull the whole front off, the front valve off. We actually ordered the lines. One came from Georgia. The other came from Denver, Colorado. Because I know it's the first time in my life I ever put a credit card down at the parts counter and was like, overnight them. I don't care what it costs. Now, since then, that's happened a bunch. But I still remember that. Sitting there at the cat dealer just going, order it. He's like, well, we'd have to overnight it. I'm like, order it. And he's like, well, shipping's going to be, at that time, I think it was like $55 a line. 55 and like 75, something like that. And I'm like, just order them. And I remember 2 out of the 4 lines sitting there with the parts guy. He's like, these are the only 2 lines of this for this machine in the country. And we had them UPS.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So
that's been the good thing about CAT is they usually have the parts, and we live close to a very large CAT dealership, so that makes that, you know, it's helpful.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, so then the craziest thing about this, friend of ours was down there with us. His name's Rob. He's no longer alive, but I'll never forget this. We had to wait. So we got the lines in, and then we actually blew these pressure relief valves out. So we had to go back to CAT. Luckily, they had those. We finally get all the parts ordered. We got them ordered that morning. They were in at 1. We actually drove to Illinois to pick them up at the main warehouse there. And I believe, it's not Moline's Deer. What is it? Not Euphoria. Peoria. We actually drove to the main warehouse in Peoria to pick them up, CAT's main warehouse. And there we were at 5 o'clock on a Friday night in the hotel room. Rob's going through the valve Rob, there's a little table there. Rob's going through the valve on that little table, and I had the whole valve block in the shower of the hotel room washing it up, cleaning it up because it was just absolutely filthy. And the whole joke that weekend was that wasn't the dirtiest thing that's ever been in that shower. Probably wasn't. This was a crappy hotel. It was. It got the nickname the Taliban Hotel for a reason. And I wish Rob, he's no longer alive, but I wish Rob was here because he'd be like, yep, the Taliban Hotel. And so anyways, Rob got the valve together. I got it cleaned up. Rob got the valve together. And at 8:30 that night, we went out to the field, threw it in, and tested it all out. 10 o'clock that night, we were buying mulch at the local McDonald's as just a victory celebration because it worked. And yeah, since then, I mean, it's been a dang good loader other than the air filter last year.
Yeah.
That one threw us for a loop, but yeah, kind of funny. But yeah, that's the story with this loader. Kind of crazy, but nice feeling seeing it airborne.